of all the stupid, asinine, shark-jumping bullshit!
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Gamer-Rant style video with some more gameplay in the background. Today's Gamer-Rant is going to be about Death Battle. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Death Battle is the most popular Powerscaling YouTube channel, a show dedicated to taking two characters and pitting them up to a... However, there's a pretty massive issue with them. In spite of the fact that they have pretty good presentation and remarkable animated fights, big props to Devil Artist Animation for animating that fight, their general research is something to be desired. They have a history of bad takes. Really bad takes. The most infamous case being Goku vs. Superman, where they miscalculated Goku's speed, making him significantly slower than the calculation should have been.
So basically what happened for speed, they said, okay, Goku can move at 64, million kilometers per hour. And then for Super Saiyan, he can move 32 million kilometers per hour. So what they were trying to make it look like, they multiplied it by 50, because, like 6 times 5 is 30. So they thought they could slip in that 32 and make you think that they multiplied the other one by 50. But if you look at it, they actually said that Super Saiyan is half the speed of base Goku on their shit.
Other examples include the Mario vs. Sonic Death Battle, where they both get downplayed, or the Hulk vs. Broly episode, where Hulk's several greater feats essentially got ignored, and several others. But today we'll be chatting about one of their most recent episodes, this time surrounding Bardock, the father of Goku, and Omni-Man, the father of Mark, aka Invincible. This video has so many problems, but for today's rant, I'll just be covering the post-analysis, since this is where they give their reasons as to why Omni-Man takes the win. But if you want to watch the pre-analysis, I'll have a link down in the description below, just in case you think I'm taking things out of context or misrepresenting Death Battle. Anyways, on to the clips!
Okay, these Gokus have got to stop picking fights with guys in capes.
Pitting Saiyan against Viltrumite is fascinating. Among the many similarities, 5 specific categories stand out.
Starting with speed. Bardock is much faster, given his power level matched Goku dodging asteroids at 9.5 trillion times light speed, much higher than the Viltrumite's fastest speed. Add on the 50 times multiplier from Super Saiyan and it's a huge difference.
Right, Bardock clearly has the speed advantage, but strength and durability are another story.
Though it doesn't seem like it at first, Bardock scales to King Veggie, who wrecked 3 planets at once, and Omni-Man only smashed 1. But given how big that one planet was, the numbers are actually pretty similar.
Yeah, no, they are very much not comparable. First off, even if we were to assume that the feat that Nolan did was all on his own, and then presume that the calculations were correct, this still ignores the very obvious problem that King Vegeta completed this feat with a single hand wave. This completely alters the entire argument that Wiz, one of the co-hosts, makes here, since we would need to recalculate this feat to account for the amount of effort that Bardock's maximum output would be, meaning that Bardock would most likely be able to floor Omni-Man's feat by simply putting in just a little effort. But let's crash back down to reality land, where Omni-Man did not do this feat entirely on his own. In fact, Nolan's life was actually at risk when trying to destroy planet Viltrum, and even needed Mark and the other Viltrumite to finally destroy the planet. Also note that after said feat, all involved were dazed, meaning that it took real effort to destroy said planet. And even then, the King Vegeta feat was most likely miscalculated. They simply just presumed that the background planets are somehow smaller than the big planet. And even if we assume that each of the planets are just the size of Earth, this feat can go upwards of 1.8 quintillions of TNT. And remember that this is just by a simple hand wave. Forget Ozaru or even Super Saiyan. Base Bardock at full power is more than enough to take down Nolan by simply using this feat alone. But it seems that Wiz and Boomstick have another feat up their sleeve.
Super Saiyan boost, right?
Well, there's a catch. A major plot point in Invincible involves the coalition of planets admitting that their weapons cannot hurt Viltrumites.
So, when their ship's cannon obliterated this gigantic solar disk, it highlighted just how tough the Viltrumites really are.
This disk completely blocked the sunlight and heat between a planet and its star. And this is no ordinary planet. Its size and density are so high that its inhabitants are as strong as Viltrumites just due to living in its natural gravity. To fully block the light to such a planet and remain in consistent orbit, the disk would need to be positioned at its L1 point, the spot that creates an uninterrupted view between sun and satellite. And the disk disk itself must be about half the diameter of the star in question. This means the scaling of the disk puts it at 3 septillion tons.
That's 24 zeros!
Which makes Omni-Man over 11,000 times stronger than base Bardock.
Not even the Great Ape or Super Saiyan forms could make up that difference, so strength goes to Nolan.
Okay, so I don't think I need to mention that even if we took this feat into account, that Bardock still scales to someone who completed a greater feat than Nolan's former feat with just a simple hand wave, and therefore is most likely that Bardock could easily reach this level. But I will anyways. But, in all seriousness, this feat is an example of selective interpretation, and the point of today's video. Death Battle's biggest error in this video is that they seem to ignore other interpretations of various feats and statements, the best example being the sun disk scale. Let's see, no weapon in the coalition of planets apparently cannot harm a Viltrumite. Why does this have to mean that a Viltrumite can tank such a hit? No, seriously, I established that the planetary feat that was pulled off was actually a notable risk to the life of Nolan, and to add further context, that feat was only pulled off when the planet was destabilized, and the restabilization of the planet would have made it impossible for Nolan to pull off that feat without just dying. So, if it was highly difficult and even life-risking to take down a single planet, how would he even be able to remotely scale to the sun disk feat? Well, here's a more consistent interpretation. Speed. It is most likely that these lasers simply cannot hit the Viltrumites, and since they are known for being quite fast, as shown in this very video, meaning that this is a far more valid interpretation. And even then, this feat is also in contention as well, since other calculations only put this feat at around 255.38 quetatons, as opposed to Death Battle's 8,641 quetatons. All in all, even if we were to put this feat to the max, there's a larger problem at hand here. The rest of this video goes over versatility and experience, but this is entirely irrelevant when Death Battle doesn't seem to understand that Omni-Man isn't going to be able to land a single hit on Bardock. If you look at the graph that they display going over Bardock's speed, note that Bardock is over 2,375 times faster than Omni-Man. The speed gap is so monstrous that we could simply argue that Bardock would take this battle via speed blitz alone. Couple this with, at a bare minimum, comparable power, or even greater considering that the effort calculation I mentioned earlier, and I can't see a single scenario where Omni-Man comes out of this alive. His adaptability is irrelevant when someone is just that much faster than you are. I don't exactly understand how Wiz and Boomstick here can note that much of a speed difference and state without question that Omni-Man takes the win here. All in all, this death battle was something to be desired in terms of its research. Notably, the rest of the video I did enjoy. The presentation was on point, they were engaging, and the animation was superb. Big props to Death Battle and Devil Artemis animation. And I hope to see more Death Battle content going forward, and hopefully some better research. But that's all for today's Gamer-Rant, everyone. See you later, wait a minute. Oh, come on!